Tinx, the queen of the internet. And now you've affectionately earned the title of the internet's big sister. I mean, how does that feel?
It's incredible. It's honestly such an honor. I always wanted a big sister myself. So the fact that people are calling me their big sister is I'm honored, and it feels great. And I love it. I do feel like they're all my little sisters out there. My mom always jokes. She's like, I feel like you're the president of this really big imaginary sorority. And I'm like, yeah, kind of, sure.
Right. Kappa Alpha Internet. You
Exactly.
are the reigning supreme. And I think the reason why you have really exploded and really resonated with so many people is because you are so authentically you.
Guys, look at what Kim Kardashian sent me. Men are so predictable. The day after I tell TikTok that I have a boyfriend, Diplo sends me his Crocs collab. The mindset should be, do I like this guy? Is he good enough for me? Does he have a headboard?
And what are the tenets of Tinx culture?
Tinx culture. Wow. Well, it really runs the gamut. Tinx culture, it's shrimp cocktail, but it's also knowing your self-worth. It's Botox, it's boys, it's where to get the best martini in town. It's a little bit of everything.
It's very niche. That's what I love about you. You're so specific with the things that you tell your followers.
Yes, everything that I do is very specific, because I think, if you tell someone, oh, go to this restaurant, that's great. But if you tell them you've got to go on a Wednesday because that's when this exact pastry chef is working, and you've got to order this exact breakfast and make sure you stop to get a coffee here after, like, that's worth its weight in gold. Life is short and we have limited time and we have limited resources. So if you're going to spend time or money on something, it better be good. Love all the Kardashians. I really respect and admire them. Love food, love travel, love beauty. And I really just love taking care of myself, and in a really fun way.
I kind of want to just back up a little bit. You joined TikTok, which is, of course, where we can see all of these things explored on your page. Can you kind of tell me the story of when you joined TikTok and why you joined TikTok?
Totally. So I always tell my followers, if you haven't found your thing yet and you're in your young 20s, don't worry. I'm 30 now. I found my passion when I was 29. Like so many people, I downloaded TikTok in quarantine. And before that, I was a writer, and I never thought of myself as an on-camera person, but I was like, you know what? I'm loving TikTok. I might as well try to make some things and make a few videos. And as soon as I made my first video, I knew that that is what I was supposed to do for the rest of my life.
Met Mike when I was walking down the street, and he went, yo, that ass is fat. And I was like, this ass? And he was like, that ass.
I joined in May of last year, and I hit 1 million almost to the week a year later. So it was really, really emotional and crazy just to think, wow, what a crazy year.
Can you think of the one video that really changed the game for you, where you noticed, I think I'm onto something here?
And I decided to go to drive to the valley to try the Kardashian salad.
Yes.
And I thought,
Health nut.
Health nut is my favorite. Oh my gosh, I'm obsessed with it.
The Kardashians are obsessed with health nut salad, and I'm obsessed with the Kardashians. Earlier this year in lockdown, I was getting ready for my daily cry, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to drive to the valley, get me one of those salads.
And that's when I thought, wow, this is really fun. I love being like the spokesperson for all these people who have the same questions and curiosities about LA and celebrities that I have, and I can be a middleman.
You're like, I volunteer as tribute.
Literally.
I will go to Health Nut.
Exactly.
Your content creation process, is it something that you get random bursts of inspiration? Do you script things? I mean, what goes into making one of the videos that goes up on your page?
It totally depends. I have a couple different format pillars. I have my Rich Moms, and they take a lot of research. I mean, I have to get that right.
Rich Mom Starter Pack, Malibu Edition. So, you were an actress on a terrible TV show for about 5 minutes. You're moving to Tribeca. First things first, you're gonna need an apartment in 443 Greenwich, so your kids feel safe away from the paparazzi. Rich Mom Starter Pack, Miami Edition. $30 million condo at the Four Seasons. Something that screams, I'm single and 23, even though you're 40 and have 4 kids.
If it's just a hot take, I'll literally pull over on the side of the road and do it with I have a mini mic in my car, and I'll just fire those off.
Sometimes I just want to be inside on my couch without feeling like I should be going down a slip and slide blackout in someone famous's backyard.
I'm basically making content 24 hours a day. So it's really erratic. It's really all over the place, but I'm at my most happy when I'm making content.
Is there any topic that's off limits?
Gosh, not really. I never want to create an unrealistic standard for happiness or for life. So I don't want my followers to think, oh, wow, her life is perfect. Like I have to show myself crying in the car or breaking down or like having a tough day when I'm dealing with anxiety, because that's life.
100%. And that reminds me of something that you say often that I really appreciate. You're like, this face, it's not just because I'm well rested and I drink water. Full transparency. I eat a lot of salads. Like I'm not here to sugarcoat it. You know what I mean?
Totally. I'm really honest about it. And you know, I have Botox. I tell my followers I love it. And that's why I look like this. So I again try to be like, you know what, guys, like I eat salad in the week, and on the weekend I have like 40 margaritas and froyo, and it's called 80-20, and we balance. And that's what it is. So always trying to keep it real.
Well, I think that transparency and that authenticity has not only resonated with like your core Tinx followers, but you've garnered the attention of celebrities. You've got the Kardashians sending you PR boxes, Gwyneth Paltrow, who I know is like a huge hero of yours.
Yeah.
What does it mean to have all of this celebrity adoration?
It's totally incredible. You asked about my process, and I was lying in bed and I was on Instagram and I was seeing all the influencers get the chocolate box that Kim sends out for the perfume. And I was like, God, I wonder what it tastes like.
I cannot be the only fat ass who thinks about all the chocolate that goes to waste.
The next morning I woke up, the TikTok had gone viral, and I had a DM from Kim's team being like, we want to send you the box. And it was just such a cool moment, because that's, again, what I try to do is like not just do the unboxing, but like do the unboxing that every girl out there would do. And most people would take a bite of the freaking chocolate, and it was delicious. She works with this like fancy chocolatier, and it was the best chocolate I've ever had. Yeah. I still have some in my freezer. I'm saving it.
Wow. Okay. So you're getting PR packages. Have you been able to personally connect with the Kardashians? I know you just went to Kendall's 818 tequila launch. I mean, did you have a chance to chat there?
I chatted briefly with her. She is even more stunning in person, was such a nice girl. And it was crazy to be at that party. Honestly, I think I started blabbing about my breakup, and she was like, I'm really sorry. She was so sweet to me. And yeah, Gwyneth Paltrow is huge inspiration to me. She DM'd me and said she'd seen my Rich Mom videos, and I was just like, oh my God.
I want to get into some of these signature Tinx mantras and theories. Let's start with mantras. What are some of your mantras that you live by that you think people could benefit from knowing a little bit more about?
My number one that I live by is comparison is the thief of joy. And it really changed my life. Don't compare yourself to your friends. Don't compare yourself to people on the internet. Don't even compare yourself to your own future self. The key to happiness is staying present and staying grateful and knowing that everybody is on their own timeline. Men always come back or their lives get worse is one that I'm very well known for. Now, the secret is that you need to focus on yourself. You really shouldn't think about them. And because you never know, down the line, they'll come back, or, you know, they'll start going bald or something, but you just have to focus on yourself. That's the key. Ben Affleck and J-Lo right now. Think about it. He's gone a lot of different ways, but he came back and now they're very happy. And J-Lo, you know, she crushed life in the meantime, had amazing business, lived her best life, and now she's back with him. So she just focused on herself, and there he is.
We got to get into some signature Tinx theories. Let's start with box theory. It's really taken the internet by storm. Can you please explain?
So box theory is when a guy meets a girl in a romantic setting. So at a bar, sits next door at a dinner party, gets set up, dating app. He puts her into one of three boxes. He wants to date her, he wants to hook up, or he wants nothing to do with her. So if you're in the third box, move on, all very good. The other two boxes. Now, this theory is supposed to be freeing, because if you're in the date box, you can do almost anything and he's still going to want to date you. You can get drunk, you can puke on his shoes, you can forget his name, and he's still going to find it totally charming. If you're in the hookup box, you can, not sleep with him for weeks on end. You can talk about how much you love knitting and staying home, and he's still not going to want to date you. The upshot of all this is, don't worry about it. Do what you want when you want. Sleep with a guy when you want to and you feel ready to. It really doesn't change things. And then comes into play reverse box theory, which I can also talk about.
Please.
So reverse box theory is, on the other side of things, a lot of young women put guys in the I want to date him box before he's even worthy of it. But like they'll see a mediocre dating app profile. They'll ask one of their friends about him and they're like, this is my husband. I must date him. I must date Bob from Hinge. And it's like, you haven't even met Bob from Hinge. This is not coming from a place of judgment. This is coming from a place of when I was 22, I would meet a guy once and I'd be like, I'm going to marry him. I'm completely obsessed with him. And then it screws up you act weird because you're so stressed.
Can you shift boxes?
I would argue very rarely. I really would argue that you can't, because it's just when guys meet you, they kind of categorize you in that way. And it's very rare. Now, is there exceptions? Of course, there's exceptions to every rule, which is why you should take back the power and feel relieved of any stress and just be yourself. If he's going to love you for who you are, you'll know it. And that's all there is to it.
So let's talk about Ickless. What is an Ickless?
Okay, so an Ickless is when you start to see a guy, when you start to date someone, you keep a list on your phone of little icks. Now, for anybody who doesn't know, an ick is like a little thing that they do or say, or something about them that you're just kind of like, ugh. Like he doesn't have a headboard is the classic one that I always get. Or he chews with his mouth open. Myself included, sometimes when you're dating someone new, you can fall very quickly and you just have rose-colored glasses on and everything they do is amazing. Even if you're in this mental place, there will be small icks. Write them in your phone. And if you feel yourself getting all bajiggity and woo-woo, read them and bring yourself back down to earth. And worst case scenario, if he ghosts you or he's being rude to you, whatever, you can refer to the ick list and think, you know what? He wasn't all that great.
Okay, so with that, what is planning a funeral?
This is not for if you were in a relationship. This is if you saw someone casually and either they soft ghosted you, whatever, you were seeing them for a few weeks, it didn't work out. We as women spend so much time thinking what could have been, what should have been, should I have worn a different dress? If only I hadn't put that exclamation point at the end of that sentence. Like, enough. You need to stop focusing on what could have been and start focusing on what you deserve. So in order to do this, you pick a day and make a deal with yourself and say, this is the day that I hold a funeral for him. Pour yourself a glass of wine, go get yourself a delicious oat milk latte, put on Jeff Buckley's Hallelujah, order some imaginary flowers in your head. Imaginary flowers because your feelings for him are imaginary. You're not actually in love with him. You're just in love with the idea of him. And lay him to rest.
And listen, hearing you say all that, I do want to talk a little bit about you and your personal life. You were so gracious to invite all of your friends and your followers into your journey as you dated this mystery man that we simply referred to as YG.
Yes.
And then to open our phones and to see you release a series of videos just in tears, emotionally telling your followers that the relationship had ended.
Today, I got a horrible message. And if you have received one of those messages, you know exactly how it feels. You slowly read the words and you start to feel sick. This was the first guy that I imagined making a life with. Right now, I really do feel like my heart is broken in two.
I want to offer you a huge part of my heart, and I just want to ask, how are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you. That's so kind. You know what? As soon as it happened, I thought I have this opportunity to really practice what I preach, right? Like I'm in this state of intense pain and something bad happened, but I can practice what I preach and tell them, like, I'm not embarrassed. I don't regret anything. I feel grateful for how happy I was and how it reminded me like how much I love and how deeply I love. And now I have this opportunity to show followers how you show up. Like your character is not who you are like on the best day of your life. Your character is who you are and how you show up when in the face of adversity.
Yeah. So have you made peace? Have you moved on entirely, or are we still working through things?
I've made peace and I've moved on, and it's time for the next chapter. You have to focus on what you deserve. And I know my worth and I know how I deserve to be treated. So
100% queen. And so I guess, is it fair to ask, is Tinx back in the dating game?
I am back in the dating game. Yes, I am.
Yes.
I'm slowly submerging. It's not a dive in. It's a wade in. But yes, I'm dipping my toe back and I'm back in the game.
I do want to ask you, because I think a lot of your fans have really enjoyed watching your friendship with Diplo blossom and then seeing you with him in Vegas over the weekend. What's the story there?
he's so sweet. You know, Diplo and I are friends.
Friends.
Just friends. Yeah, he's a great guy. I love his music. I really am his biggest fan. And I ran into him in Vegas just by chance. And, you know, fate brought us together. So we had a really fun time running around Vegas for a night. But he's very sweet. Yeah.
Okay. Does he have a chance with Tinx?
God, I don't know. I might friend zone him, honestly. I can't tell. But maybe. Never say never, you know?
I feel like the next natural step would be Tinx products, you know, your own athleisure line. What are some of the goals that you have for yourself, like specific things that you want to tackle next?
Oh my gosh. I think I think a jump into audio, some form of audio would be incredible, just to be able to speak to my followers directly. Podcasts, radio, hosting. I want to try it all. I really do. Yeah, we'll see.
I love how you always joke about how you're the oldest person, you're the oldest millennial on TikTok. In 10 years, do you still see yourself making TikTok videos?
I honestly do. My life began at 30. I feel younger now than I did when I was 21, and I feel like I'm just at the beginning of my career. So I absolutely will be on TikTok forever. It's my home. I love it.
Do you want to get married down the road? Would you like to have a family?
I definitely want those things. I definitely want a family, and I have to be a rich mom. So
clearly, you'll be the freaking leader.